Hey guys, this is a super fast update on my Read Harder challenge for 2016. It is still 2015, but I told you I was going to update once I had outlined a little bit what I thought I was going to read for some of these categories. Some of them are still not filled out, and everything that's not filled out falls into two categories. Either A, it's not filled out because I read so much of it that it doesn't matter I don't need to plan it, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't need to plan it because I'm going to read something anyway. Or it's blank because I don't like it so much that I couldn't find anything yet to fill in that category, and I'm just waiting until maybe more discussion gets going in 2016 for me to find a book that I like. Or maybe I fall into the trap where I'm running out of time and I need to just pick something and, go for it. Okay, so I read a horror book blank because I read a ton of horror. That's going to happen anyway, and I'm still doing my personal challenge to read every Stephen King book published, so that's obviously going to happen. Read a nonfiction book about science. How Music Got Free is what I chose, and I did not put the authors down here, but I will in the description below if you guys are interested. This is a, obviously, nonfiction book about technological science. This is all about the piracy era and what happened to the music industry. I'm extremely interested in this, actually, even though it's not my usual thing. I'm extremely interested because this was my generation. I did this. Anyway, so read a collection of essays. I was not interested in anything I found. Read a book out loud to someone else. I read like 10 books a day to my kids, so that will happen. Read a middle grade novel. Serafina and the Black Cloak is what I chose. It did not win the Goodreads Choice Award for 2015, but I put an asterisk here because this was already on my to be read list, and it is middle grade. Read a biography. Rosemary, the Hidden Kennedy Daughter, I found on the New York Public Library suggestion list for Read Harder Challenge 2016. This sounds really interesting to me. Read a dystopian novel. That will happen on its own because I read a lot of that. Read a book originally published in the decade you were born. The Handmaid's Tale was published in 1985. I was born in the 80s, and this was already on my to-read list. Listen to an audiobook that has won an Ahdieh award. I was just lazy and didn't look these up. I think I will listen to The Goldfinch won an Ahdieh award for 2014, but I will see. And I don't want there to be too many books here from 2015. I'd like to fill some of this out with books that are new in 2016. Read a book over 500 pages long, will happen on its own. Read a book under 100 pages, that will happen on its own. Read a book by or about a person that identifies as transgender. I saw some of these. I looked at the New York Public Library suggestion list, but I wasn't really interested, and this will be a hard one for me because I feel like anything that's about transgender, anything that's about feminist issues is going to tend to be contemporary fiction, which I don't enjoy, or it's going to be nonfiction, which I don't enjoy. It's not that I don't care about these issues, it's just that I don't care to read about them. I read to get away. I read to escape, a broken society, so I'm not really excited about reading something that's just going to be too real. You know what I mean? Read a book that is set in the Middle East. The Wrath and the Dawn was published in 2015. It has really good reviews. I added that to my list. Read a book by an author that is from Southeast Asia. Nothing really caught my eye there. Read a book of historical fiction set before 1900. And Ember in the Ashes was already on my to-be read list, so I just penciled that in. Read the first book in a series by a person of color. Sorcerer to the Crown sounded good. I added that. The comic will happen on its own. This, I think, will happen on its own. I'm waiting to see when I end up reading The Martian. I have The Martian now, but it's kind of far down on my list. It might actually be 2016 by the time I get to it. Read a nonfiction book about feminism or dealing with feminist themes. Bad Feminist sounded actually funny and amusing to me, despite it being very, real. Read a book about religion, fiction or nonfiction. The Witches is a, this also was an option for, What was it an option for? Oh, it was an option for my biography too. This is about the Salem witch trials, and I guess what happened. It sounds very interesting, and I was torn between the witches and Rosemary, so I ended up picking Rosemary, and then when I came to this one, I realized that the witches would fall into my category for religion, so I get to read both. Read a book about politics, I couldn't find anything very interesting. Read a food memoir, Stir, sounds really interesting. It's about a girl who, has a very happy life and everything's going great, and then she has an aneurysm, and it's about her, the first thing that she learns to do as she's recovering is she gets back to cooking and baking. Read a play, I'll read Hamlet by Shakespeare. Read a book with a main character that has a mental illness. Furiously Happy is about depression and anxiety, and it's supposed to be funny, so I'll try that one out. Okay, guys, that's my whole list that I've penciled in so far. I know there's a lot of blanks, but, I explained why. So, yeah, that's great. If you guys have plans for your Read Harder Challenge 2016, link me below. I'd love to watch your videos. Or any other challenge at all. I'm interested. Thanks, YouTube. Bye-bye.